Oh, this gonna be a mess. Okay. Hello everybody and welcome back to Lilith's Attic. My name is Julia Pasqua. It's another Tarot Card Tuesday. For those of you who haven't figured it out yet or who can't tell, I bought a camper. Surprise! I will explain more at the end of the video. So that's where I am currently in now. I know I said that this video might be late, but it's not. So here we are. And this week we have the Three of Swords. Now the Three of Swords is known to be the saddest tarot card. Yay! I was dreading the swords and dreading this card, and the Three of Swords is supposed to represent pain, suffering, and sadness. Just going with a trifecta there. It is one of the most iconic visuals in the tarot card deck is this Three of Swords with the three swords piercing the heart with the rain behind it, and if this isn't obvious, that represents pain, sorrow, and sadness. If you pull this card, it's a reminder that pain is temporary, and take this as an opportunity to heal yourself instead of drown in the sorrow. You might be going through a grief period. If you pull this card in reverse, it's somehow less sad, and it's a reminder that your situation is temporary. You're on your way to recovery after pain. So this is the first card that I think it's less depressing when we read it upside down. All right, you guys, let's go make the Three of Swords. Jesus Christ, come on. Okay, so for my Three of Swords, I didn't want to quite demolish the meaning of the original card, but I always think that there's more from the card that we can learn, and I wanted it to acknowledge this pain and this suffering, but also show kind of that strength versus just it being this depressing, just complete depression and fear. Like when I pull that card, that's scary. I always try to find the strength in the painful cards, so I really want to emphasize more of the strength and the determination to pull through that grief period. So I'm going to have a woman. She's kind of suspended in the air, like she's floating. Like when you feel like you're in so much pain, it almost feels like an out-of-body experience, or you almost want to just, peel your skin off and get out of your body when you're in so much pain. So she's going to be like floating through the air here, kind of suspended, being pulled from her heart center. So she's kind of pulled more. She's not just sticking her boobs out. She's just being pulled from her heart center, like her heart is being pulled out of her chest. Because sometimes too, when you're in so much pain, it's like you have to disassociate yourself because there's so much pain and suffering inside of you that you have to pull your heart out of your body. So her heart is going to be out of her body. She's going to be suspended in air, kind of floating in this grief, in this sadness, in this painful period. And you know how I always like to put a little bit of the reverse meaning in the card there too, and that reverse meaning is a reminder that you will get through this and that it is a temporary pain that you have to experience and go through. So my Three of Swords are going to be guarded or guarding. They're going to be three little soldiers at the bottom, all holding the sword, and they're going to be protecting this woman who is suspended in the air as she's going through this grief period. So instead of having the swords be extra emphasis of the pain, the swords are going to be kind of a way out of her pain. Now for me, when I'm going through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and like this much emotional grief and pain and suffering, I really truly look towards those people in my life who I love and who protect me. Like when you're vulnerable, you really need people around you who have stood with you through everything. I have three best friends in my life who I'm very blessed for, two brothers and my sister, and it's always ironic when threes pop up because it seems that the card seems to represent something that those three helped me with too, and I'm very blessed for them, and I always go toward them in times of grief and sorrow, and they put this kind of wall of protection around me. And even though the soldiers in this are really small, I think that significant size attribute in this drawing is important too. They're still guarding her. Like you can feel that this pain is so consuming and big and just taking over your life, but they're just standing there, and they might be smaller than the grief, but they're ready to fight. Like two of them have their swords drawn, ready to go. The other one is backing them up, holding the sword at attention, watching and waiting. Like these three are ready to protect this woman when she's vulnerable. I think a lot of pain and grief and suffering and emotional healing that this card represents, you need those three little soldiers. You need the people in your life who can guard you in the time of your vulnerability. That's kind of my different spin on the Three of Swords. Alrighty, and that is my Three of Swords. My message from me to you this week is if you're going through the time of extreme pain, of extreme emotional heartache, remember your little soldiers. Remember the people in your life who you can turn to in that time of vulnerability that you want in front, holding the swords, ready to protect you, ready to protect your heart, ready to protect you in a vulnerable state, and ready to help you get through this grief period. Okay, like I said, I bought a camper. I've been redoing the camper. I will show more about the mobile attic. Welcome to the mobile attic. I purchased this about 2 months ago and I gutted a lot of it and I have been redoing it and I have been documenting that journey, and I have been very, 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 very busy, and I am very, very, very tired. And yeah, we just keep rolling in life, you guys, you know. So anyway, yeah, that's been my big surprise update basically, is now the attic is mobile, and that is very exciting. That opens up some new opportunities. As always, no matter what, apparently no matter what, I will see you all here next Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for your support, each and every one of you. Mwah. Bye guys. Sorry, I'm at a campground. There's gonna be all kinds of sounds behind me. Looking like a mess.